Can you hear us?
I can hear you very well.
Yeah, wonderful to have you with us in the studio. So please, of course, the latest development in the country from the Nnpc, of course, the 165 naira. From other sources, we are saying 855, and from 870. What is your reaction in this?
I would say, is it to say progress, but what it is the first progress is that at least something is at home now. So we have a refinery in the country that is a test capacity and can work. So that we said that one is a first progress for decades now. But the other things are the market forces are what they are grappling with. I don't know the untruths that it's pricing scheme. So it's need to happen. It's difficult for any expert actually to pinpointedly tell you this is what is going to happen. It's monospony from what I'm seeing, because it's they say Dangote Refinery only to Nnpc, is it right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're selling only to Nnpc alone. Then
No. They are not selling only to Nnpc is just the sole buyer, like the biggest share of buyer, because of course
that's the same thing. So buying, then you're being sold to solely pony, and that's a kind of market misnomer, because what is happening then we cannot discuss price variance, the factor play with price. There's a kind of fixing going on. So either it goes on that comes above the table, whichever way the card passes, there are still some cards being passed. Not be able to ascertain the mechanisms of price are all international, country specific minor issues, but the price of crude, the price of refining to ensure sustainability. These are issues that are international to do with Nigeria, and I think those things are going to push this price above that 800 price mark. So we are looking at the 1,000 something. So there's something that across the world there has to be some kind of cushion. Governments watch these prices when it cushion. But we are not being told. We need clarity maybe through the week, as the refinery releases the first batch, then we'll start some markets. No matter how cover these things, market must speak market language, and we will get to understand a few more.
Okay. All right, sir. So how might this agreement affect the price of petroleum products in Nigeria?
Deregulated properly is not, if it's a properly deregulated market, then you see situation where everybody, all the energy marketers, downstream marketers in the country, they'll come up to Nnpc, to Dangote Refinery to pick up fuel. In this case, that it is Nnpc alone collecting monospony. We are going to have, there's going to be price variation across the country. You know, what you lost might not be what you sell in Owerri, and it's going to start, some kind of symmetry is going to start unraveling from now onwards. So we have to revisit this about in a week's time. So I have to have down the country. We have to get some feelers of how today being Wednesday down to Wednesday next. We see what happens, plays across the weekend. We watch the market.
All right,
and
sir.
see how.
Well, we will wait till the weekend, of course, to see this one. For that, let's talk about foreign exchange. Dangote came out to say today that the new price, Nigeria will experience reports. Demand for dollar will drop by 40%. Just few came out to admit boldly that they are owing a debt of $6 billion. I think this new way to foreigners, this would help us or this would put us into more trouble?
It's the foreign element of crude is they have to actually than how because crude is our mainstay, is our economic mainstay. Remittances from abroad, from individual remittances, is what is actually the forex market in Nigeria right now. So, if what the disparity between what Dangote is saying and what Nnpc is saying, I don't know what they're just so for market advantage, just so for chunk of the pie, and as they sell, we've not gotten clarity on what transpires, how transfers to Dangote, and what Dangote does, and how the paperwork is open. There's so much translucence in the much most people are doing. I've been the industry discussing with much what people are doing is just speculation, saying if it's variables that are then it is this, if it's this. They need to give us more clarity. We need to see, there has to be open. Nigeria is not the only country in the world, and you don't run your petroleum sector in there has to be some kind of transparency to enable us to address these documents and see what's happening. There's no open book. With what Dangote is saying, he does not say to the full extent when you have reviews, and the Nnpc too are not saying to the full extent. So there are some clutches there at both ends, and it's the citizens that are going to be paying, because all you see seeing more price skyrocketing, and Nnpc trying to cushion through some kind of subsidy. Somewhere there's a subsidy going here, because if they remove their hands on the levers, the price goes to where it should be. I think it might basically the dollars are going to start spiking again and all these things. I think the government is trying to hold. There's something is holding that we are not seeing very clearly yet.
I was even about to get to that. I wanted to ask you, your own expert opinion, what do you think could still be the reason why fully transparent with this transaction? What do you think is?
I think it's got to do with and the entire value chain of the industry. There's something happening. What is being exploited at down at the oil wells. That's where the transparency comes from. Exactly how many barrels you get and how many barrels you push out. What goes to the international market, and what goes to Dangote, and what is the balance, and what is the loss, the loss in the market. And these things, if you don't have them, it's very, very difficult. Try as much as you may. It's going to be speculation, up a wide speculation, and walks away, and another person challenges it. And when it's happening like this, it's better. This is what bureaucrats enjoy. Bureaucrats don't want, the statistics, accurate statistics on the test, accurate statistics. That's when it's a kind of bootlegging how boys play. So we're having
could this arrangement influence?
Yeah.
Sam, okay. Could this arrangement influence the petroleum market, especially regarding competition in Nigeria?
Now, we say there's competition with other refineries in Nigeria. If you take it in terms of scale down the Dangote refinery, in terms of sheer scale, the volume in the market, if you do not do your Dangote refinery, then any other refinery that comes into very de minimis. It's very insignificant what such a refinery produces and what impact it can have on the petroleum market, on the petroleum downstream sector or retail end of the market. You understand what I'm saying? The volume of the sheer capacity of Dangote Refinery plays refineries into insignificance. So what they can produce now, what I have on the petroleum sector, on the market, on the retail end is very, very insignificant. And so our eyes are on Dangote Refinery. We have to transparency, and we have to make them more transparent. Tell us what arrangement. You remember there was a time the top shares that Nnpc had in Dangote and how it has been paid back and come back to impact on the books, because the accounts has got to balance. No matter what you do in an international market, petroleum market, the account has got to balance at the end of the day. It's not a Nigerian factor in this.
But so are there any regulation policy, Are there any regulation upon this agreement?
That's what the regulator Nnpc is a partaker. Nnpc we've been a long time. We've been calling for some changes. Nnpc can't do what they're industry player like this in Nigeria. Like for instance, I was in NEC and that's the electricity regulatory the NEC having stake in buying electric and selling electric and or generating partners in electricity generation and selling. This is the kind of thing you see. You can't regulate and you can't partake in the market you regulate, and that's what they are doing. Even divisions that regulate and say it's at an arm's length from the division that that partakes in the sector, it is still the same thing. You have a goat with a horse leg. Everything has got the same. So these things makes a misnomer of what the international regulation, what for these industries are, and that is why it's a difficult market to stratify, to accurately state what is going to. The only good thing now is that Dangote has come on stream, and then we have to use the next few weeks to prove Dangote, to prove facts out of Dangote. Dangote is a private, the Nnpc is stubbornly difficult to get facts from. They just tell you what they tell you is not good enough to analyze a market with. And I think
thank you for that. But now let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about the disadvantages of Nnpc being the sole buyer of Dangote's refinery. Take on this.
One straight advantage it has symmetry, market control, price control, price asymmetry. So if they feel the prices are volatile, like going too high, it's easy for go under the table and put in some the effect on per liter at the retail end. That's the only thing that helps. But then it is taxpayers' money that is being used for this, so it goes to the inflation in the country, because they want money from somewhere. That's why VAT is standing at 20% now. It's very high. So they need to claw all these monies back from somewhere. So the only way is giving an advantage to Nigerians right now is just like a kind of balm suiting, easing off the pain in a short run, but in a long run, it will be racking up a lot of future, and then it will be making it costlier for them to borrow money from I want to do always, and then basically it needs some kind of to
okay,
be able to Yeah.
Looking at the point morning, Labour demands the reversal set to meet, and you have that it's Dangote Refinery pricing templates as an Nnpc alleges so buyer. So my question is, I'm awaiting the pricing templates from Nnpc or from Dangote?
That's the it's two ways. Waiting if Dangote, what Dangote tells the marketer does not bear weight at the pump end of the industry now, because Dangote is not going to sell from what the arrangement now they have. It's clear. Dangote and Nnpc. So marketers will have to wait for Nnpc, give them the prices. So, and Nnpc is a social enterprise of government. It's hydra-headed. It has a lot of heads. So what it does is that when it suits it, when the atmosphere is charged up in Nigeria, when action is making the Nigeria climate to charge up, then Assuates pours a little sprinkler, some kind of water coolant on the by pumping in some subsidy. So you see some kind of pull and push through. So I know that if they have their way now, of petrol is supposed to be hitting in the international market price for a liter of petrol now is at 44 cents. So they want it to go there, and if it goes there, it will them. That's why you had them bandy around some prices. They said 1,011 naira 17 kobo, isn't it? Something
yes,
like
yes.
that. Yeah,
As of
yeah.
this
So that's where it's coming from. That's the actual that is meant to be at parity with international pricing. So he said doing doing a puppet pulling when they feel they feel that they are working for the government, for the federal government, and when everywhere is charged up, they throw in some naira into the market, the price, and then people can get petrol at something that is acceptable, and then wait there. So it just it's not sustainable in the long run, but they do it sustainable. They can do this for 10 years. Once this is what the government wants, they do it. But then there's an economic downside, and it's piling up somewhere, and then you'll be seeing it on in the markets and all the inflation going on in the country, because there's a misnomer. It's not to be happening. It's not the market principles, and the market truths are not dictated, and it's not the right place to be. It's not how long we can carry on like this. We don't know, but then they have a win for a very long time. Yeah.
This is Ember month, and then look of you this morning. Some people carried 685 naira per liter, some 885, 900, and some part of the country 1,000 and something, like you said. Is there any hope? As an expert, would you say there is a hope for the local marketers in Nigeria this Ember season?
That question should be Nnpc and Dangote, because it all depends on what they supply. What Dangote Refinery gives to Nnpc, isn't it? And then what Nnpc and whoever, because with this now a lot of marketers that import fuel, they will have to wait a little to see how the market goes, because if you your landing cost escalates your liter past and above the refinery at Lagos, then you're going to have a problem selling. That so long the Dangote is ready to keep supplying and the demand is being met in Nigeria, is that if scarcity carries on, if Dangote is not able, the capacity of Dangote is not, then there'll be some kind of mayhem, and prices will be according to, you have a situation where there'll be supposed to be price asymmetry across the country in the first place. If Dangote petrol lands at the tankers and is spread across the country. The cost of petrol in Ogun State very close to Lagos, and the cost of petrol in Petroleum to be the same. That's just what market says.
All right,
you know, this they equalize them, and yeah. Sorry.
On a very lighter note, you know, Dangote has his own feelings around the country. Do you think he's now going to be the new Nnpc good rates to Nigerians?
The document, their legal documents for the monopoly there. If Dangote, they could, because there's everything, there is always in law. Dangote could be refrained from selling, from retailing at certain ends. Dangote, you can have a situation where Dangote has to sell to Nnpc. His retail ends will now buy from Nnpc. You understand? This is what if Nnpc wants a flat-out control of petrol prices, then that will be what it will be. Or otherwise, because Dangote cannot come in Nnpc and be giving Nnpc a bad name, because Nnpc is government.
Okay.
So there might be a situation where the Dangote retail ends in the country. First, the wholesale end of Dangote will have to sell to Nnpc in Lagos it has produced, and then come into the country and buy from Dangote, Nnpc, just the way any other independent marketer buys. You understand? That's
right.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
And that is more likely what they are going to do, because they allow Dangote to be selling at a different price within the country, buy from him and fix whatever prices they want to fix. So they have to find symmetry in the market to avoid chaos.
Okay.
And
my next question:
the market controls the economy, so they won't want to see that kind of to somebody, to some industrialist.
All right. So, Sam, we understand that Nnpc owing $6 billion to some foreigners, and of course, they won't do this information to us. What do you think will happen to the relationship between and our foreigners who were our importers before? What do you think will happen to that relationship? They are just depending solely on Dangote. It's like they've left where they were.
They've left their former trading partners, isn't
it?
Yes. What will happen? That one is very clear. It's a Nigerian thing. We've been down this road. Those prices, those billions of, is it 6 billion, whatever they every day. You might wake up tomorrow, they tell you, Nnpc tells you it's 14 billion according to their mood in their day, and according to what they are trying to hide and what they are not trying to. What will actually happen now is that most of those figures, you know, they are bloated. That's why you don't see transparency in the industry. So some of these profits, the advanced profit they've loaded into their papers, and you're not expecting to see any of those independent marketers any of those suppliers taking Nnpc to court. You're not going to see any of them fighting Nnpc. Why Dangote actually fought Nnpc? He has not been selling petrol. He's a fresh entrant to the market. Has no skeletons and has nothing, no books with Nnpc. The main books with Nnpc, those books start being corrupt. They start being dirty. They are so you're not going
criticism.
to see, yeah.
There are criticisms, surrounding this exclusive agreement. What are your concerns?
It's all about that transparency, open book. Let's operate the way the industry is operated across the world. Let's have open book. Let's open the books. Let people see the books. Let statisticians, let people understand what is going on. Let's stop all this speculating. For all that we've had through this interview now, you see, I can't lay hands on figures because everything is being speculated. That as the government wishes, as it suits them for a day, to avoid agitation, to avoid certain things. They just, and if people complain, if labor union complains, some prices stays little or stays stable, and while it's stable, there's some that you don't see. But all we know, we rely on pricing index and accuracy to know that what is happening more. So we just through this Dangote channel now that's open, we will have to rush into Dangote and try to force him to books to know what is going on in this sector.
All right, Sam. So, from the beginning of this conversation, we had to mention something called transparency, of course, being an issue with this government. Now, do you foresee, with lack of transparency being in place, do you foresee any future side of this agreement?
If losses for Dangote is not being paid and losses start to accumulate and shareholders start to ask questions, then you could see then Dangote is in a good position, except it does not allow him to sell outside the country, because at that Lagos end he can do something to send petroleum out to West Africa, and he can be able to, maybe at a point, if he ramps up to full capacity, he can be able to ameliorate his problems. Because Nnpc is feeding him so that they can have exclusive to the end product, to the refined product. So that might also not work. Maybe he has to, 30% of all his capacity dedicated to fuel and selling fuel, and maybe use it to keep running, and then do Nigerians. I don't know how that's why I said that is. So we need a few more days, operational days, weeks, for them to function, and then we start to have friends in there, and we start to figure out exactly the modus operandi, how they are, what they are going to do, because of the certain Nigerian factors, certain things that are not kit tools that they have.
All right, so the Nnpc chairman came out to say that private investors can now come to the government-owned refineries, and he said they must be debt-free. That we still have a hope with our own government-owned refinery.
The technologies there in those refineries are not meant to be that labyrinthal and clunky. The technologies have moved on, and what we have anyway. If somebody, maybe the only people, maybe the Ukrainians, the people that built those things in the first place, maybe they can. I think it's going to be, if you place those Nnpc refineries, modern, contemporary refining machineries, then they are not they won't be cost effective. So it's still going to be another Nigerian factor thing. Stop. The person is going to be expecting a lot of subsidy, a lot of concessions, a lot of outside the market tools concessions, so you'll be able to operate them. Maybe Nigeria will just get the glory of saying we have refineries that work, just like when they wanted the Nigeria Airways, we have planes that are flying, and they got Ethiopia to want to paint their right Nigeria Airways on Ethiopian planes. Maybe that's what the kind of things they have to do with these ones, because those technologies have moved on. That is why you keep getting those terms, those turnaround maintenance perennially. They keep going round and round, and each time after a turnaround maintenance, the thing would work. The technologies are not good, or whatever. Maybe they didn't turn around anything, but in place those technologies are clunky and outdated. And how a refinery is supposed to listen through technology phasing is that those refineries are 50 years old, and they are supposed to have been working for 50 years, producing money with which the technology is being either phased out, or companies that produce the parts can be kept operation whatever country they are, because we are paying them, because we are using their tools, their components, and then we can be running those things. But then those things have not worked for a very long time, and then so turnaround maintenance on things not functional. You turn around, you maintain something that is working, you do something that is obsolete and antiquated. So I don't know that's why they keep shifting. Every month they say it will start working next month, and then nothing.
Thank you very much, Sam Okoro. Thank you for invitation this morning.
Okay, thank you. It's my pleasure. Maybe we'll be back somewhere. What's today? Wednesday?
Yes, today.
All right.
Marketplace.
We'll be back again.
Maybe
Yes,
by
of course.
Monday or something.
Yes.
All right, you're staying on Nature Morning on Signature TV, and we'll be moving to our episode. Don't go anywhere.